Welcome back, everybody, to another episode of Nintendo Rewind, and we're about to break the internet because I'm joined by Chris Becker, who's twice as engaged as Taylor Swift and Ryan Kelsey are. We are rewinding and recapping last week for Nintendo, but before we dive in, we're going to dive into today's topic. I can't think all of a sudden. My brain's turned off. I'm half as engaged as Taylor Swift and Jason Kelsey are. Why did I say Ryan Kelsey? Did I say Ryan Kelsey twice?
I don't think so.
You don't think so? I think I did. I think I said...
I was half engaged. The rest of me was...
Brain's moving slow. No, we are... we're going to be talking about our top 10 games. Not Jason. Not Jason. What's her boyfriend's name? Mr. Kelsey. Travis. There we go. Thank you. I'm gonna get there someday. I promise. But we're gonna be talking about top 10 games that we want to get upgrade packs or Switch 2 versions for Nintendo Switch 2, because there's a lot of untapped potential that's in that backlog that I think could benefit from being having Nintendo's attention turned to it. If we're not going to get any new games, Jeez, we're not gonna get any new games. At least give us the old ones, but better. But Chris, how's it going, my dude?
Pretty good. Pretty good. How about you? What about you? How's your day going?
It's going pretty good. I had art class today with the kiddos. It's their last art class of this semester. They'll probably start a new semester up in like 2 weeks. But we went and did that. My oldest, I could hear him all the way down the hallway. He kept going, Miss Megan, Miss Megan, Miss Megan, Miss Megan. I'm talking to you, Miss Megan. And I'm like, dude, I got up out of my chair. I walked down there and looked in the doorway, and I leaned in and I said, Trip, she's right here. I hear you all the way down the hall. Calm down. No, 2 weeks in between semesters is what it's going to be. They just finished one semester. They got a 2 week break, and then they're going to go do another semester of art class. But no, that was pretty good. We did tacos for Taco Tuesday tonight. Yes, I know, Silent Brook. I said 2 weeks in between semesters. They finished a semester, they have a 2 week break, and then they start another semester. But then, yeah, we are some of them all year round school freaks. But more specifically, it's mostly just like extracurriculars. We have like a summer break, but they like doing the art class during the summer, so they get to go and do that. We did tacos for Taco. I'm getting roasted by chat right now. I don't understand what's wrong with everybody.
Oh my goodness.
Taco. What did you do? I'm just gonna shut up. What did you do today?
What did I do? I was cutting down the tree, working on, got some estimates. So, tree in my backyard, part of the tree fell over, but there's still part of the tree left. Not only that, but the problem with keeping the tree up is the way the rest of the tree that's standing. I don't want it to like fall and then backwards and then smash the fence.
Right.
So I was like, you know what? My dad was like, let's get some estimates. I was like, I think I could cut it by hand. And he said, I don't think that's a good idea. Let's get some estimates. Got some estimates. Even got a ticket for the Powerball. 700 million. Nope. Didn't win that. Nobody
didn't win. Nobody won. So it goes up now.
So it goes up. Yeah.
You gotta buy another ticket to ride.
Yeah. And then when I win, yeah. So maybe I'll have someone come cut it then. In the meantime,
you're already taking care of it. It'll be gone by that point, hopefully.
Yeah. Okay, so I was like, I'm gonna just cut the tree down. It's gonna be great. It's fine. Cut down the tree. Well, no, I didn't cut it down. I started to. And we never heard from Chris again. Yeah, I won the lottery. All right, well, I'll talk to y'all later.
Oh, man, that's going to be a sad day. Actually, I think we would hear from Chris more. He'd have a lot more free time to just play video games all the time and just forget about life. Just play video games that he bought with his $700 million.
Yeah, that'd be insane. Could you imagine? And so worked on cutting the tree down, and my dad was like, you cut down too much. He's like, you need to take it easy. He's like, I don't feel like, he said, we don't need you dying out there while you're trying to cut the tree down. I was like, yeah, well, he's like, how did you cut that much of the tree off? Did you use the ladder? Because he said, don't use the ladder if he wasn't at the house. And I said, no, I didn't use the ladder. I just cut this huge branch over here.
I just climbed up in it.
No, I cut a big branch with the handsaw because we got a new handsaw, and it cut like butter. And then the problem is it got wedged between one tree and another, like another thick branch. So I had to lift it up, right? Pick it up, lift it, and shove it off the tree. And I got it off the tree, and it's on the ground, and then moved it back. And so I got that down. And then I was like, okay, that's good. We got that done. Cut down some of the tree, right? So what happened was happened,
What
cut down the
happened?
tree. And then for dinner, I was like, you know what? I'm going to make some dinner. I made cheeseburgers, French fries, and what else do we have? Corn, canned corn. And I was like, you know what? It's pretty warm in here. Oh, and also while the oven was on, after I took the fries out, I put some cinnamon buns in. Okay. And so the problem is we have central air, right? And you hit the button that says home today. And every like 12 hours, I guess, it just resets. It resets. And so I forgot to hit, I guess I hit the button, but more than 12 hours ago, because then I had the oven on, set to 450, and then didn't turn on the AC again. So it was like 80 degrees in the house. And I was like, oh God, this is insane. And my dad was like, oh, it's pretty warm in here.
Mm-hmm.
But we did get to watch
an episode of Brooklyn Nine-Nine? Yeah, that's what I'm talking about. I feel like you're whispering tonight, by the way, Chris. Are you just too tired? Listen, I did not expect to see you before 9 p.m. tonight. I'm going to be completely honest. We talked. Your lips are moving, by the way, and you're not saying a word now. It's so weird. But
that's because I moved the mic.
I understand. I was like, what is going on? It's like, blah, blah, blah.
Why is it so quiet?
No, not anymore. But
I had the mic away from my mouth, I guess.
But I didn't expect to see you online, and because I knew you were cutting down the tree. And then right after that, you stream Overwatch for some reason. I can't possibly imagine why you streamed it.
Every year or two, I feel like, you know what? I think I can get back into Overwatch. That I can't get back into it.
I don't blame you. It's no Marvel Rivals. We'll just say that much. But and then we get on this call, and now we're back at it again. It's been a crazy day for you, dude, and it's been a crazy week in general. This last week we played quite a lot of Fortnite together. It's been a good time. Enjoying some knighting and forting. I'm playing as a gorilla.
Yeah. Music skins are out, whatever they are.
Yeah. Poor Nettis rather hook a car battery up to my nuts than play Overwatch. But no, it's been a pretty good week. It's been a pretty good week. We had a lot of Gamescom announcements this last week. There were a couple of games that I'm actually really stoked for, but some of them aren't coming to Nintendo Switch, like Recur. I was really interested in that one. That one's the one that's kind of like Braid, except like time moves based on your movement forward or backwards. Would really like to see that one make its appearance on Switch. We got an announcement this last week. Silksong coming to Switch 2 and Switch 1 on September 4th. Everybody's moving out of the way. I have no clue why. Honestly, before we do dive into the main topic, can we talk about the fact that like all of these indie companies that are like getting out of the way of Silksong, like I don't know if they're doing it out of reverence or respect, or if they're doing it because they're afraid Silksong is going to hurt their overall sales. But I fail to see, like I said this earlier today when you messaged it to me, I fail to see where like Baby Steps, the new Bennett Foddy game, where the Venn diagram intersects for people who are super stoked about that game and who are super stoked about Silksong, because I don't think either one of those things are going to interfere with each other. Like, I think that people who are excited for Bennett Foddy's new game are also going to be excited for Silksong. Netizen Live Chat says it's probably not about sales, it's about news coverage. And I don't necessarily disagree with that, but I don't know if the news coverage is going to be enough to get people excited for some of these games that have moved their release dates now. And some of them have not just been moved by like a day or two. They've been moved by months in some cases.
Yeah, there was a couple that got, well, at least one, right? They got to move to 2026. But in terms of baby steps, yeah, I don't think people will be buying it, but the people that they would pay to stream baby steps are probably going to be deep into Silksong at that point. Especially, we don't know how long Silksong is.
No. I mean, if it's anything like the first game, 40 plus hours, depending on how much time you spend in it. I mean, it can be a 40-hour game. It can be an hour and a half long game if you're really good at it, but you really need to know your map at that point. Right, yeah. But it looks like chat's consensus is it's an excuse to give them more time, to sum it up, Susie. So I don't know. Like, some of these games are getting like an extra week or two. In most cases, they're getting like an extra week or two. And I don't know that an extra week or two is going to be enough to really make that big of a difference. Were they that far behind the curve that they were like, all right, well, I need like an extra week or two, and Silksong's coming out and it's fine. I don't know.
Maybe they're just worried everyone's only going to talk about Silksong for
which kind of goes back to
10
Netta's
days
point
after it comes out. Yeah.
Right. It's probably not about sales, about news coverage.
I know the developers of Demon School.
Yeah.
They said they came out and were like, it wasn't our decision. We didn't want to delay it, but our publisher did. So
right.
We're going with what they want to do. And that got delayed to like November 18th or something.
An insane delay, by the way, considering that was launching next week. Like, it was supposed to be good to launch next week. So
right, yeah. And then not only that, I mean, I wouldn't be surprised if some people, like creators, already have codes like they're to work on the review and
right.
whatnot.
Right. I mean, I would expect it to be so. It's hard for me to imagine that some of these people did not already have codes to be able to be playing the whatever build they had, the pre-release build of X game. But I don't know. Like, I don't think. I mean, don't get me wrong. I'm very excited for Silksong. I'm going to be picking up Silksong. It's probably the game that I will pick up that week. But at the same time, it's just like I don't know.
Nothing else is coming out that week now. No.
The things Demon School said they're adding in that 2 months is somewhat fundamental and was going to be added as a free update anyway, says Nolan, which I haven't followed
so they were
that game that closely. Yeah. That makes sense.
That
makes more sense.
They were working on stuff, and they said the delay is helping us because this was going to be like in the first patch or update, but they said now it'll be their day one.
Right. Which I wish we could just get back to, where it's like you just release a complete game. And maybe Silksong's like prime reason number one people don't do that, because people get restless waiting for X game to come out, and it turns into a meme of it never coming out. But it's just like, I don't know, like, just release a complete game. Like, you can do it. I believe in you people. So
do you have a guess on what you think it will score in? What it'll score?
I think it will score at minimum a 98.
No, sorry, what'd you say? 98?
Mm-hmm.
So you think like the Open Critic score, overall review?
The Metacritic score is going to be 98 at minimum.
That's insane.
You don't think so? What's Hollow Knight sitting at?
I guess it's not that insane. Hollow Knight's like 91, 92.
Okay, so yeah, I think this game could land a 98. I legit do. I'm being told I'm wild. Nettis, there was an interview with Team Cherry where they said there was never any development hell. They were just working on the game the whole time and everything was great. And that idea is really funny. everything was great. We were just working. We were ignoring all the memes on the internet. Everyone's saying that the dev was dead.
They said that they were a small team, and it, because it started off as like an update or story update or expansion for Hollow Knight, and then became its own game, and then they just kind of like kept building it out, and
Right.
I mean, even in that trailer, it showed there was like a crafting menu.
Yeah. I mean, this is an ambitious sequel. There's still literally 2 guys. Hollow Knight had 3 devs and one of them left. Oh my gosh. Well, they are truly a team of 2. A duo cherry, no longer a team cherry. There's not enough people there for a team. So
and it sold 15 million units.
Susie says plus or minus 2 over or under Hollow Knight's score, which is that 91. No way a 98. I didn't finish looking at the Metacritic score. Let me look up Hollow Knight Metacritic, find out what it actually is. Metacritic.
I'm trying to think. Like, in order for a game to get a 98...
It's on a 90. It's got a 90.
So it's almost an 89. So
that's what she's saying. That's not what I'm saying. What did Donkey Kong Bonanza's Metacritic score get? And that one was universally acclaimed too, 91. Maybe I'm wrong. Maybe I am wild for this. Oh my god. Well, oh well. 98 it is. I'm sticking to it, and we'll go plus minus 2. It will either be. It could be between 96 to 100. That's what I'm gonna say. On Metacritic, DK Bonanza is a 91.
Let's look up Nintendo Switch. Like the games that got 98 are like Breath of the Wild got a 97. That doesn't even have a 98. Mario Odyssey a 97, and then right above those 2 is going to be Hollow Knight Silksong at 98.
We got a bunch of DK haters out here, by the way. Are you seeing this? Donkey Kong Bonanza is in a 91, and then Nolan says should be lower. Oh my god. Oh my god. I don't hate it, but you just don't think it's a 9 out of 10? You wouldn't give it a 9 out of 10? Let's boil it down to those numbers. You wouldn't give it a 9 out of 10? I would give it a 9 out of 10. I mean, I think I legit gave that game like a...
Maybe a 7, Brooks, he said. She's
God, she has hate in her heart. That's what it is. It's just not a 91. I loved that game. I had a great time with Donkey Kong Bonanza. When I did the review, what did I give it in the review, Chris? What did I give it?
I mean, probably
I was really high
9 game.
Yeah, it was a high 9. It was a near perfect. This is what I gave it.
98. It was probably like right up there with Silksong.
I think I gave it a 99. 1 point higher than Silksong.
Let's look up. Okay, so you know how they had let's see. You remember that game Golf Story?
I do remember Golf Story.
People loved Golf Story. It got on Metacritic it's a 78, and then afterwards they released Sports Story,
and that one did bad. Didn't
Sports
it?
Story, and that got a 54 on Metacritic.
Well, we're hoping we're not going to have a Golf Story situation out of Silksong. It's been in development for so long.
You have to prepare yourself in case.
Let me be clear. We don't care about Metacritic scores. We just like to talk about what the general consensus is on a game. Because it's interesting to see what the public's take on it is. And no, we're not the general public. We are a very specialized audience. 7 out of 10 ain't no hate. They built it well. It looks fine, but it's not Mario Odyssey. If it were Mario Odyssey, what would you... If it had been Mario Odyssey 2 Silent Brook, would you have taken that score up even higher? That's the real question. If it was just Donkey Kong Bonanza, but with Mario in it, would it have went up even higher? What do you think, Chris? What do you mean, what does that even mean?
If it was Donkey Kong Bonanza, but Mario Odyssey 2?
Yeah. If it was just Donkey Kong, if the gameplay and everything was Donkey Kong Bonanza, but they stuck Mario in there and titled it Mario Odyssey 2, would you have still been as upset about it? I'm not Game Informer, where anything rated below an 8 is apparently trash. That's also true. That's also true.
Let me throw a hat at something. I want to throw a hat at a frog or...
Oh, you just want to possess things. Listen, we can just get Geist on Switch, Nintendo Switch Online, GameCube Classics, then we'll be good.
What was the name of that game? Do you remember?
You've given me zero details. I don't know. What platform?
I can't remember. I think it was a game called. Oh, that's what it was. A game called Haunting, starring Polterguy on the Sega Genesis, and you were like this guy with like a green mohawk. You were green, and you just went around like possessing things in the house to scare people out of the house.
I feel like I do remember that game, actually. At first, I was like, I don't know what you're talking about. And it was Polterguy?
Haunting.
Haunting,
starring Polterguy. Polterguy.
No, wait, I don't remember this at all, actually.
No, you don't even remember the guy on the cover, the green guy?
No. I don't. What was this for? Was this for Sega, you said?
Genesis, yeah.
Yeah, that's why I didn't have a Genesis. My cousin did, and that's where I played all the Genesis games, but he didn't have that one.
Did you like your cousin?
Yeah, it was fine. Why?
I just didn't know what you thought of him.
You want me to air out family drama on stream? Jesus. What's wrong with you? Oh, man. I'm just thankful I had cousins. Let's just say that. I'm thankful. Rate your cousin out of 100.
Yeah. 100.
I mean, that cousin was probably like, I don't know, like a 6. 6 out of 10. So we'll give him a low 60, like a 62.
Well, better than Sports Story.
Yeah, just barely. Oh man, but yeah, I don't hate my cousin. We were just at odds with each other growing up. He was a lot bigger than me, and he would like to pick on me, and I didn't like that. So I nearly threw him out a second-story window.
Oh, okay. So here's the thing: my cousins were still are like 10, 12 years older than me. So I didn't really hang out with them very much.
See, although this cousin was the exact same age as me.
Shout out to Carl. I do watch Carl. He makes a lot of bread.
I guess familiar defenestration does get about a 6. Oh man, he makes bread? Carl? Shout out to Carl.
Shout out to Carl. He makes bread.
Man.
Yeah. A lot of really good bread. Next week, I'll come back with a photo of the bread and show it. You can see
Please do. We'll put it up on the screen for everybody to see.
Yeah.
And then they can thank us for doing that. And I finally found my segue. I'm going to thank some people. I want to extend a big thanks to Chaotic Mnemonic Man, Calamity Nolan, and Sierra Christian for supporting the show. If you would like to support the show over at NintendoRewind.com, you can directly support our content. Every dollar spent on memberships and merch helps us continue to produce this show. There's even a tier that only costs $1 a month, and with it you get a shout out right here, just like now, just like what we did, which was we went from throwing cousins out windows all the way to like thanking our producers of Nintendo Rewind.
Shows next week when I'll come back with some bread. You show us the photo of the window you almost threw them out of.
I don't have a picture of that window. I think they moved out of that house shortly after. I should probably not come back with a photo of that window. That's Here's what you can do. We'll find out what house it is. Find out who lives there now. I'll see if I can get in touch with that person and ask them this. I'll be like, this is gonna sound really weird. Can you send me a photo of your window from the inside? Your second story window that's kind of up in your attic.
Yeah.
We are getting very specific about this cousin. Like if they watch, and I don't know if they do, but if they do, they'll figure out who they are real quick. Oh man. But no, and I feel bad because I rated them a 6 out of 10, and they might know, but it's not like at the time I wouldn't have told them they were a 1 out of 10
if
human beings.
If they would have had a Super NES, they might have been.
Yeah, right.
Better,
right.
higher. Yeah.
Oh man, but no, that's it for the preamble. We got some actual show to talk about tonight with 10 games that need upgrade packs coming to Nintendo Switch 2. We need these things. We need them, and so we'll catch you guys right after this little bumper here. Chris, I asked you, I said, hey, dude, we need to come up with a list of things that that we can say we want these things on Nintendo Switch 2, and we want them now. And you answered with gusto. You came back at me with all 5 of yours all at once with ideas of what you wanted. And spoiler alert, you want them to all be free. And I don't blame you, because I also don't want to spend money on some of those things that you requested. But we're going to do a little bit of back and forth here with what we want to see on the Nintendo Switch 2 from the Nintendo published Nintendo Switch 1 games that haven't gotten any kind of attention in terms of, are they getting a frame rate upgrade? Are they getting game share? Do they support mouse mode now? And realistically, there's some things that I think could come and should come, and things that I think would just be nice quality of life additions. And if you guys in the live chat, or if you're catching us later on YouTube, have ideas for games that we don't mention, let us know what it is, because just because we didn't mention it doesn't mean that we don't want it. It's just we didn't think about it at the time. So I'm going to let Chris kick us off with his very first one on the list. What do you got? What do you want, Chris? What do you want, my good sir?
Have you remember Paper Mario and the Thousand Year Door?
I do remember Paper Mario and the Thousand Year Door on the GameCube.
Yeah, do you remember that? And then it came to Switch and it was at 30 FPS. Well, just you remember that?
It was. I do remember that. That was a big sticking pain point for a lot of people.
Yeah. So give it to us at 60. Give it to us for free. That'd be great. And you know what? You can even add mouse controls.
What would you... Hold on. Why would you add mouse controls? I fail to understand. Yeah. Listen, that's another thing. I don't want to spoil your full list. I'm not going to spoil your full list, but everything can't get mouse mode. Like, it doesn't make sense for everything.
I was trying to figure out how to work it, and yeah, I don't know, but we'll figure it out.
Oh man, I'm 100% with you on this release, is that it would be nice to get my extra 30 frames, considering I spent the same amount on it this time around as I did on the original release. But there is a very specific DLC that I would like for them to add to this, and it's the story of Luigi when he goes to Waffle Island, or wherever the heck that is that he goes on his adventure, getting away from Mario during this Thousand Year Door game. And I think it would be really cool to see that story. And there was a lot of rumors at the time that they were going to include that in this game, like actually give us a little something extra if they were taking away those 30 other frames. But we ended up not getting it. As far as price point, what are you wanting out of this? Like, usually when Nintendo does these upgrade packs, the cost is only associated with it if it's not just like a quality of life upgrade, like you're getting extra frames or whatever. But they usually do a free pack whenever it's just frames.
Yeah, give it to us for free. You already got enough out of us. Okay?
Oh man, Brooke says no DLC, no remasters. I want new games. I'm tired of old stuff. The old stuff already exists. That DLC doesn't exist though. The story of Luigi going to Waffle Island or wherever it is he goes, that doesn't actually exist, and everybody wants it because he tells his story so directly. So if they gave you DLC for it, would you want it to have story DLC, or do you just only want the frames?
The DLC I would take if they were to give us what you just described. But at the same time, I would like it, but I would just be happy if they only give us the 60 FPS. I can't believe they didn't give it to us. Like, why didn't they give it to us at launch?
I think the Switch is a less powerful system than the GameCube Plus. That's a take. Nolan says, no, I think it would ruin it to play through it because Luigi and his companions have such comically different opinions on why. I mean, that is true. That is a totally fair take. So no DLC, no DLC, just the frames. That's all we want now. Is that where we're at? I want the DLC, but that's just me.
Yeah. Well, if they do have the DLC, let us play through every single version and then like a version of like what actually happened.
Like Octopath Traveler, where all the stories finally link up and it all finally makes sense. It's told from each of the companions' perspective.
You can throw it in when they're telling you what happened.
Yes, dude, I'm all about that. And then charge me what, like $10? No, I'm kidding. Like that would probably be a $20 expansion easily
for Nintendo.
Yeah.
Those dirty scoundrels.
What
about you? Listen, give me one.
My first pick on this list is kind of an obvious pick. It's something that I think should have happened to begin with, and unfortunately didn't. And it is Xenoblade Chronicles X. Oh, that's got volume. Xenoblade Chronicles X Definitive Edition. Getting an actual like improved frame rate and higher resolution in both handheld and docked. When I bought this game, I was so excited for Xenoblade Chronicles X. This is my favorite game out of the series. From Xenoblade Chronicles 1 to Torna, the Golden Country, and 3. I love X the most. It has such a different aesthetic. The gameplay is so different. You end up getting mechs in it. It's one of those games that I think if I'm thinking about an upgrade, this is the kind of upgrade I would want, because there were areas in this release when it came to Switch 1 that lagged and did not have a good explanation for why there was so much motion blur. The Wii U version of this game did not have the level of lag and motion blur that the Switch 1 version of this game did. And I was playing docked whenever I was playing it. And I came away a little bit disappointed because there was a lot of stuff that they sold me on early on with the improved resolution that they were already trying to say that it was getting, and the updated facial graphic styles to kind of bring it more in line with the rest of the Xenoblade Chronicles series. But once I finally got my hands on it, I was a little more disappointed with what I had my hands on at that point. And there were rumors looming around that we were going to get a free upgrade version of this game, and it just never really came to fruition. And it frustrates me because this game came out so close to the release of the Nintendo Switch 2. Like, to the point that I was like, this is probably going to be the last Switch 1 game that I purchase. And it ended up not being, obviously. But what I want out of this is the improved frame rate, keeping it at 60, a locked 60, and a higher resolution in both handheld and docked. And I would like for that DLC to be free. There's nothing else I really want out of this. This game is already massively long. But I just really want to see this actually meet the expectations that I had for it being a full-on high-resolution port from the Wii U days.
Yeah, that'd be nice. That'd be real nice. Did you play, how much of it have you played on the Switch?
So I played approximately 6 hours on Switch, and then knowing that the Switch 2 was coming out, I put it on the back burner, and I said, I'm not going to put any more time into this because I wanted to wait. I was hoping for, I don't know, like what I pretty much just described, and it never happened, and so I've just left it on the back burner until someday, hopefully, it gets a performance upgrade. Because even as it stands right now, it performs the same as it does on Switch 1. It's not any worse playing on Switch 2 than it is on Switch 1, other than the fact that the screen that you have in your hand is a 1080p screen, and 720p on a 1080p screen tends to look a little more muddy than it should. But I just left it on the back burner because I was just like, I'm going to wait and hope that they end up doing something with it. And so far, all of my hopes and dreams have been dashed.
Well, you know what? I mean, I would also take the other Xenoblade games. Some of them got like updates, but like just give us the Xenoblade, because it wasn't like a data miner found it, right? That there was an option or something in there.
Yep.
And it just isn't in the menu. So
no,
I mean,
never happened
before you know it.
Who knows? I'm going to keep my fingers crossed. That's really the main thing that I want. Have you played any of Xenoblade Chronicles X? Even on the Wii U days, was this a game that was on your radar? Did you care for it?
I played it on the Wii U, but if I remember correctly, it was one I did not get much time to play
Mm.
on it. What I can't remember. Do you remember when it came out on the Wii U?
Part of me wants to say like 2014, 2015, somewhere in that ballpark, but don't quote me on that.
2015. Okay, yeah. I remember I played quite a bit of it, and I enjoyed it, and so yeah, I'd be down if they did release a 60 FPS version.
I guess. What's the
Sure.
what's the next game on your list, my good sir?
Well, I'm glad you asked. The Sushi Striker: The Way of the Sushido. I don't know if you heard of it. Apparently not many people got it, but it was insane that it was $50 when it came out.
Yeah, it was like
almost-
what, $10 more than the 3DS version of it?
Right. And the 3DS version was probably, I don't know what I did. Somebody keep me away from this screen. But yeah, it was just
Oh my
making it
god, I
worse.
just looked. Stop messing with the show notes.
I don't know what happened. I couldn't stop it. But yeah, I want. Okay, so Game Share, it has like multiplayer that you can play online, and it played best with the stylus. So I thought, you know what, maybe I can use the mouse controls that mimic the mouse controls to just be slinging sushi at my opponent. That's the plan. That's what I want. And yeah, the fact that you needed to get to a certain part in the game in order to unlock multiplayer, like online multiplayer, like just give me Game Share and let us play.
Does it
whenever we
have
want
like
with
a
people.
split screen co-op thing?
I don't know about split screen co-op, but it does have like online
Two-player
multiplayer.
simultaneous. Okay, so Game Share, the way that works these days, at least as far as every game that includes it, is it is local co-op, but being done online.
Mhm. Well, yeah, it does have local, but it also has online.
Oh well, if it has
So-
local co-op, then you can do that mode in Game Share. That'd be freaking awesome.
Yeah, that's what I want. And I was thinking we probably don't need mouse controls, but I just wanted to add it onto everything. So here we are.
Spoiler for the rest. I think mouse controls, out of all the games that you have listed here, it's the one game that I think makes the most sense to have mouse controls on it.
Yeah, for
because
sure.
of the 3DS touchscreen stylus situation that you have going on in that game. But yeah, I think that game could benefit from mouse mode. It's the like I said, it's the one game that I'm like, yeah, that makes sense to me.
Yeah.
Oh man, oh geez, but yeah, no, I'm down for it. I've skipped out on Sushi Striker: The Way of the Sushido. It wasn't one that I was like really sold on whenever it launched for 3DS and on Nintendo Switch. But that's just because it's just not my style of game. But if they put out a
Just not
upgrade
down
pack
for a
for
good
it,
time, I guess. Yeah.
yeah, apparently, apparently it's all me not liking fun. I hate fun. Listen, I'm the one out here scoring Donkey Kong Bonanza at a 99 in chat revolting.
Oh yeah. You mean a 7, a solid 7?
Get
But
out
then
of here.
again, you also gave Mario Kart World a high score too.
I give it an 80 something. I can't
An
remember what I
80?
gave it. An 80 something, yeah.
Wow.
It was in
I
the
guess it
eights.
just didn't have enough Donkey Kong.
It didn't actually. It had Donkey Kong in one costume, and that's it. Like, what in the world is going on here? The next game on my list I actually have is a little game known as Metroid Dread. This game, realistically, is a near perfect gaming experience. This one actually is a near perfect gaming experience. I loved Metroid. Well, they have Metroid 5 listed here, but Metroid Dread a whole lot when this game came out. The speed running community around Metroid was just exploding at the time. I loved watching the speed runs for this. There is There are some things that really, really freak me out, and it's these Emmys. Played through this somewhat recently in hard mode and really enjoyed my time going through that as well. Really up in the challenge, and you do have to get super good at parrying the Emmys and parrying regular enemies, otherwise you get wrecked even from like just a normal whatever creature that's darting down at you. But I genuinely enjoyed Metroid Dread in a way that I hadn't enjoyed a Metroidvania in quite some time. I mean, since Hollow Knight, ideally. But what I would like to see out of a Metroid Dread upgrade pack. Nothing story content wise, even though I would be totally down for that. I don't have ideas for that. I legit don't have any ideas for what they would do story content wise if they were going to do it. But I would like to have an improved frame rate, preferably that 120 frames per second, to help with the parrying and giving me a better window to make sure that I'm hitting quite right. Although I will say most of the time when you're watching speed runs, if people are trying to parry, they do prefer the lower frame rates to get a better parry out of it. But I would like to have 120 frames per second. I think it would be really cool. And then a higher resolution in both handheld and docked mode, because both of those still literally only play in that 1080p docked 720p handheld, and it disappoints me because that game is really pretty too to look at, and seeing it blown up on that screen would be really cool. Nolan says they could just steal a section from another Metroid game, and that would be really cool actually if they did like the whole like Zero Suit Samus from Metroid Zero Mission. Or no, wait, my apologies. Metroid Fusion? I can't remember which one Zero Suit Samus was in now, even though I've played those somewhat recently too, and they all kind of blur together, but I think it would be cool to kind of riff off of that. That would be interesting. But that's my hope and dream, is that Metroid Dread gets some attention, because that game sold really well for what it sold in that franchise. Because that franchise historically hasn't like sold gangbusters numbers, but that game did really well, and it gave me hope that we might see another 2D Metroid someday in the future.
And it got a, what's it called, right? It got like a free update.
It did.
Dread did, right?
Where it was like
difficulty.
They did rookie mode difficulty, and they did Dread mode difficulty. And both of those things were very welcome, because I was working at GameStop at the time when that game came out, and the amount of copies that I slung for Metroid Dread, and then saw people trying to return after discovering that it was too hard for them, was ridiculous. And it took everything in me to not go, oh, hard game, too hard for baby. Can you not play hard game? I didn't do that to people. I didn't shame them, because that's just not the type of gamer I want to be. But at the same time, it's not that hard. But the rookie mode made it incredibly easy.
Shout out to rookie mode. You know, some people just want to see what the game's like and get incredibly frustrated when it comes to, especially with the, what were those things called again?
The Emmys?
Emmys, yeah. They would get very frustrated when it got to be too hard.
It's too scary. That's what I tried not to do, is just go look at people. Oh, too scary for big baby Bay. Can you not play a game? Oh man. Chris, what's your next one you got on your list, my friend?
Listen, I'm glad you asked, because with the power of mouse controls, we can get Fire Emblem 3 Houses at 60 FPS with a free update. So I did I played all three, like, of their branches, their stories in 3 Houses, but I didn't play the DLC. So I would like to play through it again, but be able to do it at 60 FPS.
With the Silver Wolves, or whatever that fourth house was, I can't remember, because you had the Golden Deer, which was the route that I chose originally, and then you had the Blue Lions, and then you had the Black Eagles. There they are, the Black Eagles, and then they came out with, I want to call them, maybe it was the Ashen Wolves, not the Silver Wolves, but I'm with you. I bought the DLC. Did you buy it?
Yeah, I have the DLC. Yeah.
I
I
kind of
have
want
it.
to go
I
back
just
through
didn't.
this.
I went and started it, and then I was like, oh, I kind of want
Purple
to play.
monkeys.
Oh, the
Legends
Purple
of the Hidden
Monkeys.
Temple with
Yeah.
Olmec.
It was just an Ape Escape expansion.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, I think I'd really just want to play Three Houses again. I think that's it.
Dude,
Or just, it's
I
time
could
for a
stand to
new
go back
Fire
through that
Emblem.
game. Okay, so how did you feel about Fire Emblem Engage? Because I noticed that one was conspicuously missing from your list. You put Three Houses, but not Engage. But how did you feel about
Yeah.
Engage?
I wished it was more like Three Houses.
Me too.
I think I didn't mind like the combat, but I liked the story in between.
Yeah,
more.
the relationship building and the way that you build your party up a little bit more, and just the overall like open world missions that you could do in the game. I liked Three Houses' experience in between the battles a lot more. I'm with you.
Engage over Three Houses, Susie said.
That is a hot take from Susie. I will say that much, because Engage, I liked the character designs in Engage. I really liked them, but the overall loop wasn't as engaging for me. I was
there you go.
I was half engaged as Taylor Swift and Travis Kelce. There we go. I got it right.
Nailed it.
With the story in that.
I will say though, but in Susie's defense, she goes hard for Engage because when it came out, she dyed her hair half pink and half
That's dope.
blue.
That's dope. So
Yeah,
she looked like the Colgate toothpaste lady, just like in the beginning of Engage, the cover art.
She was in there. She was really into it.
So you had mouse mode controls on this one, and at first I was like, I don't know how that would improve the gameplay. But actually, the more I've looked at the battles here while this is playing, it's reminding me how much I think mouse mode would really work in this game really, really well. Just dragging your people where you want them to go. And treating it more like an RTS than what it is, which is like just a turn-based tactic strategy game. I think that would be interesting. Mouse mode works in this one, but you have 60 frames per second listed on this as well. And I don't know if this game, what frame rate this game actually ran at.
Not 60. I'll tell you what.
There were portions of it that dropped. I'm looking it up.
It was
I'm doing a
30,
Google.
I believe.
Poor performance in Fire Emblem Three Houses has some very shaky performance. Running around the monastery results in pretty frequent frame drops, is what this Reddit post says. But a lot of it had to deal with the fact that this came from the studio that was pretty much only on 3DS and handheld development for years, so they didn't have the power.
Most of the development is Koei Tecmo.
Interesting. For this team?
Yeah.
The more you know.
And
Yeah.
Yeah, they helped with that, and they have been helping out Intelligent Systems a lot with like that, WarioWare, and yeah, it was sadly. I was checking to see if it was like 60 FPS, and I think they said that the game was like locked at 30, so it would drop down from 30 sometimes, like at the heavier scenes with in the monastery, but then even at the peak, it was only at 30.
Yeah, locked 60 would be really cool. I don't know that we're ever going to see a game release locked 60 on the Switch 2, considering that most of the first party games aren't even hitting that. So, but it'd be really nice.
Most of the first party games, I mean, they all started as Switch 1 games, so that makes sense.
Yeah.
But yeah, free. Give it to me for free. Don't come out here trying to charge me again.
Listen, we've had 5 free DLCs, and I'm about to throw a big curveball here and start saying Nintendo charge us money, and here's why. The game that I've got selected for my third game is a game known as Ring Fit Adventure. And the more I've talked about this, the more I just realized that this game would probably work if they just sequelized it and said Ring Fit Adventure 2 for the Switch 2. But here's what I want. If they're not going to give that to us, because this was one of those games that they said was going to have limited compatibility with the Switch 2. You would have to have the old school Joy-Con, of course, because that's what fit in the Joy-Con leg strap. That's what fit in the Ring-Con. And also they have IR sensors in those to measure your heart rate and various other things. But this game sold really, really well, and it hit at the right time. I mean, it was COVID times. People were trying to get fit around that time because they were locked in their house constantly. But I have a few things on my list. Obviously, the standard improved frame rate, higher resolution in both, in docked only, because you don't really want to play this handheld. But what I have listed here and what justifies the price tag that I'm going to say is this. I think a new Ring-Con would be a must that fits the actual Joy-Con 2s, and a leg strap that accommodates the Joy-Con 2 as well is kind of a necessary thing. And then an additional peripheral that can measure heart rate, because unless you figure out a way to remove that from being a necessary metric in that game, I don't think you can switch to a 5 this one. You need to sell an additional peripheral to be able to allow it to run on a Switch 2 for those who did not have a Switch 1. So what ends up happening here, though, is that you're looking at a price tag, in my opinion, $29.99, which is $10 cheaper than the base game that came with the original Ring-Con and the original Joy-Con leg strap. So it's $10 cheaper than just buying it all over again. But the reason that it is at that price is because they would have to include what Nolan is saying here, finger sensor. They would have to include a finger sensor to allow you to be able to play this. Otherwise, there's some portions of this that just cannot be touched. But $29.99 is where I land at on this one. And I know you were a fan of Ring Fit. How do you feel about my take on how to switch to a 5 this game?
Yeah, I think I'd rather just have Switch, or like you were saying, the more you talked about it, just gives Ring Fit 2, Yeah.
Yeah, and an additional new campaign that they would throw in there would make more sense.
With a vitality sensor.
I'm 100% about it.
The canceled vitality sensor that was that for the Wii or Wii U?
I think that was for the Wii. Vitality sensor was for the Wii. Yeah, it was for the Wii. Which was the finger heartbeat sensor thing that you plugged into the actual Wii mote. But yeah, no, like that's where I land on it, is I think that game would probably benefit more from having a sequel than anything, the more I thought about it. But it's still something that I want. If they're not going to do a sequel, at least give us something like that.
That's true.
That's true.
Give us something. I enjoyed Ring Fit, and like the leveling up and stuff. It made working out more enjoyable.
Gamify my lifestyle just a little bit more, Nintendo. We've already got Pokemon making me brush my teeth and sleep and go for walks. Gamify my Ring, and then you got Alarmo that wakes me up. So
Oh yeah, that's true. Well, at least you're, at least they wake you up after they put you to sleep. But yeah, Ring Fit, I really enjoyed. Did you enjoy Ring Fit, or did you not play?
I played quite a bit of it when it first launched, and after a while, I was like, "This is dumb." I didn't really need that aspect of my life gamified. But my wife really liked Ring Fit Adventure. Like we cleared out the living room to give her some space to do her thing. But we also had like really young babies at the time when that game came out too. But it was a good addition to the library, and I think it's a cool gimmick that was interesting in how they did it. Again, the IR sensor is what does a lot of the detecting on how you're squeezing the ring con. It detects your heart rate. So I think there are some difficulties there, but if they've got the mouse in there, they could just make it to where when you squeeze it, like a bar scrolls across the mouse sensor, I think would be able to detect how you're squeezing. So who knows? I'm not a developer, but those are my ideas. Nintendo, take them, run with them. What's your next game, my good sir?
Or go Switch 2 Joy-Cons with IR sensor.
That's true.
That's also an option. But you know what? Enough about that. What about 120 FPS with snipper clips? The second best Switch 2 launch title, or Switch 1 launch title. And I know you just used like L and R to kind of like rotate them, but what if you just kind of spin them around with the mouse controls? How about that?
Like when you're so like when you're I don't know what you, so you're using that because you can directionize the mouse pointer because it does detect your tilt of the pointer. So I guess you could technically spin your snip clips, whatever they're called, snip and clip. You could technically spin them.
Yeah.
But at the same time, like I feel like it would be really difficult to maintain a proper angle because you still need access to your face buttons and your joystick to be able to move them around and put them where they belong. The mouse mode. Here's the thing. I was surprised by mouse mode, but I was even more surprised by the 120 frames per second for this puzzle game that you requested.
Yeah, I mean that's what I want. 120 FPS, snipper clips. Because why not? Shout out to it. Yeah, give us snipper clips.
120 frames per second. Snipper clips is ridiculous. I don't know what I would do with all of those frames. That game doesn't need that.
You do a lot of snipping and clipping.
You could do a lot of
the
snipping
one thing
and
you wouldn't be snipping and clipping, the frame rate, because it'd be 120 FPS.
I just don't even know what I would do with the amount of frames for that. It's not like it's a what do they call those shooters? Twitch-based shooter. It's not a Twitch-based shooter where you need to have like snappy like camera controls and everything like that. Which is like 120 frames per second. Mouse mode, surprised by. 120 frames per second, even more surprised by. I was like, what is going on here? Realistically, all I would want is an improved frame rate, and improved resolution on that. It doesn't even have to be 120. They could do the 60 frames at 1080p handheld 4K docked would be really cool. Because that game is cool. Like it's got good artwork. I like its overall vibe. It was the one game that I bought the day the Switch came out. I've told this story multiple times, but I was the guy who did not get Legend of Zelda Breath of the Wild on launch day because I was too poor to be able to pick that up and the Switch at the same time. So I had to wait 2 more weeks for my next payday.
You got the Switch.
Yeah, I needed something to play on it, so I spent the extra $20 or whatever it was on it. I think that was $10 for that game on launch day. I spent the extra $10 and picked up snipper clips and then played that for 2 weeks while I waited for my next paycheck to be able to go and pick up Legend of Zelda Breath of the Wild. So it was a good time. Plus, I had a newborn at the time. I mean, he was only 3 months old. Trip was only 3 months old at the time. So I was trying to buy baby clothes and toys and stuff for him before I was getting stuff for myself at the time. But
right, yeah.
I don't know. I think 120 frames per second, that's wild. You're wild for that one.
Game share, yeah.
Game share makes sense. That's the thing that should definitely 100% always be there. Game share should be there for that style of game every single Nintendo game. Like it would be really cool to get that ability. And I'm talking about even for future installments that have like co-op play, like you should be able to game share every single game. And so far it seems like they're doing that, but I want them to go back to their first party developed and published titles and do that with that as well for anything that has multiplayer for their older stuff too. Would be cool. The next game that I have on my second to last one that I have on here is not so much a game as it is a peripheral called Nintendo Labo, the Toy-Con 4 VR kit. And there's really only two reasons why I want this. The first reason is because the original VR kit is not compatible with the Switch 2 because of the size of the screen. The second reason that I want this is because I want to experience the Super Mario Odyssey and the Legend of Zelda Breath of the Wild VR modes in the 1080p high fidelity screen that we have in our faces. Because back in the day when the VR kit launched, all we had was the 720p handheld screens, and it did create an extremely blurry image. It reduced a lot of the performance, and I think this new system has the power to really give you a full 1080p crispy high resolution non-lowered frame rate VR experience with it. Yeah. I don't even need it to be compatible with any of the other stuff. But what I do need it to be compatible with is Super Mario Odyssey and Breath of the Wild. Obviously, like the Labo VR actual games where you're like shooting aliens with the gun, that's not possible because you need the IR sensor because it just detects like reflections in a dark space. But it would be really nice to be able to get this. And Netist, I do know 1080p is still blurry, but it's not as bad as 720p because I have the Oculus, the Oculus One before they even went Facebook Meta mode with it, and that thing is 1080p and is awful even at 1080p. But it's double the amount of resolution it feels like at 1080p than 720. So that's what I want, is an adapter, not even so much a whole new kit, an adapter that allows me to be able to use it. Improve frame rates, higher resolutions in both in the handheld mode, and an inbox physical headset adapter for use with Super Mario Odyssey, Breath of the Wild, and any additional software that could use it for $9.99. It's just cardboard. All I'm asking for is sell me some cardboard that fits my Switch 2 and has the lenses. That's all I want.
Okay, sure. You can get it if you want, I guess.
Give it to me. Come on, Chris, make it, invent it. Fix this problem for me.
The problem is just have it go away.
Oh, God. All right, well, in that case, let's go on to your game. Your final game, your final pick.
Speaking of 120 FPS, how about a game? I don't know if you've heard of this game called The Stretchers. Have you remember when Nintendo just like randomly dropped this and it just came out, and it was a really fun multiplayer game where you're just out there taking people on stretchers and moving around. It was a really good co-op game, but local only. And then not only that, but it was made by the Little Nightmares 1 and 2 devs. Yeah.
I do remember this. I didn't end up picking this up. It reminds me a lot. Nowadays, we have kind of a newer game where it's like two people moving a sheet of glass. That's somewhat similar to this. But obviously not Nintendo published. I don't even know if it's on Switch. I don't think it is. It may be. But Stretchers was an interesting game, an interesting concept, and something that was completely different than most of the stuff that you were seeing being dropped by Nintendo back in the day. And was exciting. It reminded me a lot of it reminded me a lot of the team that did Moving Out as well. And I don't know if that was the same team or not. Was that the same team?
Moving Out, no.
Are you
That's
sure?
your I don't believe you voice.
No, I do believe you. I'm just Googling.
Yeah, that's because you don't believe me.
No, it was Team 17 did Moving Out. And developer was SMG Studio.
SMG Studio, who did the one game with the what was it? Death Squared?
I don't remember that game. What's Death Squared? You're telling me something I don't know.
Death Squared was a game. It was like 4 squares, and you had to it was like a puzzle. One was like red, green, yellow, and blue. There were the different colors, and you had to get them in the right spots, but they had to make sure they were out of each other's way. You don't remember that game?
No. I don't remember this game. I've got the trailer pulled up. I'm showing it on screen right now, but Death Squared, I legit don't remember this game.
So yeah, they made Death Squared, and then I think they also made OTTTD, which it was like a tower defense game, but I think it was a Switch.
This is like a multiplayer puzzle platformer. Is this what this is essentially? Like isometric puzzle platformer?
Yeah, like you had to like move them to the right spots.
This reminds me of that Tetris game that you, Pitterit, myself, and Brooksy played that one night. It wasn't Tetris. It was just you were random
we're all
shapes.
here to help or whatever.
Yeah. No one was there to help. I'm gonna be completely honest. We were all not there to help. Man. But that's kind of getting off topic just a little bit. But you have stretchers, 120 frames per second again. Game share. Which I think tracks.
Controls. Yeah.
What are you doing with mouse mode in that game? What are you doing?
I don't know. I added it in the rest, so I just added it to that one too.
You have no justification for mouse mode.
Well, listen. Do you ever really need it? A justification?
Yes.
I'm still waiting for EA to release The Sims 4 on Switch 2 with mouse controls. It's gonna happen one day, but
it should happen. That one makes sense. It tracks. It makes sense why they would do mouse mode. I think that game is best played with a mouse.
But yeah, definitely need game share because it's local only.
Yeah, it's hard to find somebody to play with. Like, I mean, you got your dad there, but like, I'm sure he's not all that interested in stretchers.
He's not. Nope, he's too busy wanting to play Halo.
Yep, that tracks. I've got one more game on my list too. So those are your five. My final game, I think, is one that is deserving of mouse mode. This is the only one that I put down mouse mode for, and that is Super Mario Maker 2. This game was a game that I was so excited for. And whenever I discovered that the screen worked differently than the Wii U screen did, where you had to have like the capacitive touch stylus to be able to do anything on it, I got very disinterested in building any levels. Now, I played a lot of Mario Maker 2 and mostly playing other people's stuff because I didn't want to use the buttons to be able to make levels, and I also didn't, I kind of missed the capacitive touch screen of the Wii U, where it had like that give and you could use like a direct pinpoint stylus, something similar to your 3DS if for people who didn't have it. But what I have on my list of things that I want to see get added to this is I would like a higher resolution in both handheld and docked. I would like mouse mode support. I would like new styles, because they had that in the menu, new styles, and then literally the only new styles, plural, that they came out with was Super Mario 3D World, which was one style. That's not plural styles, that's one style. And a lot of people anticipated that they would put out something along the lines of Super Mario Bros. 2, because they had the Super Mario Bros. 2 power-up that they were teasing at the time, and then it turned out that it was just a power-up that they added to the game a little bit later. But what I want from that is a new style in Super Mario Bros. Wonder. And then I would also like to see a Super Mario Land style get added, whether it be Super Mario Land or Super Mario Land 2. I think that would create some really interesting gameplay mechanics and visual style differences. That would be really neat. I think Super Mario Land 2 would probably work the best because it's so close to World in terms of aesthetic that you don't really have to change a whole lot other than the color palette and the enemies and power-ups, obviously. But that's what I want, and I'm willing to pay $19.99 for that DLC as an upgrade pack. Give me mouse mode support. Give me and maybe even game share for some of the co-op-y stuff that you can do, because you can do some levels co-op locally, from what I understand, because I haven't done it with anybody locally, but I'm pretty sure you can
with the two Joy-Con. Yeah, you share the joy.
Yep, share that joy. But that's what I want for $19.99.
Let me ask you a question.
Ask away.
If you moving away from Mario, if you could make another Maker game, what would it be?
Metroid.
Metroid Maker?
Mm-hmm. I think it's the one that translates the easiest in terms, and it wouldn't be 3D Metroid, it'd be 2D Metroids. But I think that's the one that translates the easiest to be able to do level builds. A lot of people have talked about, they wanted Legend of Zelda Maker next, and while I'm cool with that, the Dungeon Maker portion of Link's Awakening, when they did that, the remake of that, it didn't really hit quite the way that I wanted it to, and then part of it was because it was so limited in terms of what you could do with it, but. I think Metroid Maker would be really cool. I don't think it would sell very well, though. I really don't, and that's why I don't think they would end up doing it. Nolan says Pikmin Maker in the live chat, and Pikmin Maker could be really interesting, where you're plopping down enemies and you got to go around and search for different parts of a ship and all the Pikmin bulbs. That would be really cool, I think. But my second pick after Metroid Maker, because I don't think it would sell that well. My second pick would probably be Kirby Maker, because I could totally see them doing that.
Kirby Maker?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I could see that.
I could see them doing that, not worrying about whether it's going to sell well or not, and putting a $10 price tag on it and making it very underpowered. You're not really getting much out of it, but I could totally see them doing it. What about you?
I would make a Luigi's Mansion Maker. I would like
full on 3D Luigi's Mansion. Yeah. I mean, I guess technically it's not really all that 3D. It's more of an isometric experience, but in a 3D atmosphere.
Pick the rooms, then pick the ghosts in each room.
That would be really cool. That would be really cool, especially the puzzles portion of it. I think that would be really awesome. Nolan mentions in the live chat they should update Mario 3D All-Stars to add Galaxy 2, and I don't disagree with that. But
bring it back to sale.
And bring it back to sale 100%. But what I think I would like at this point is ultimately getting Galaxy 2, 3D Land, the 3DS game, New Super Mario Bros. New Super Mario Bros. Wii, and New Super Mario Bros. 2 brought to the system, because those are the 5 final Mario games that you can't play on Nintendo Switch of any sort, and I would really like to see those make their way to here, in some shape, way, fashion, or form. And there was rumors that we were going to see a New Super Mario Bros. Collection launch for the 40th, and maybe we will. Who knows? It still hasn't came around yet. But I only want it to have the complete Mario experience on the console at this point. That's the only reason I want it. I don't love those games. I don't hate them, but they're just average. They're mid Mario games. They're not bad. They're just not great. And I think that having those in a complete sense on the Nintendo Switch would just be kind of like the pièce de résistance. Like, it'd be good.
But yeah, New Super Mario. I mean, I played them once. I think I'm good.
I play them once yearly, so I have to not be good. I have to play through them. I need it again.
It would make it easier if you could just play through them all again on there.
Yes, it would. And I'm thankful that Mario Galaxy 1 is on Switch, and I don't have to play through Galaxy 2 normally, because we kind of have annexed it off to being like a side timeline thing. But yeah, like I don't know, like the motion controls on the Wii are so bad. Like I have a motion sensor bar chilling here, and it's so hard to use because I'm so close to my monitors. I have to back way up to be able to use them. It's misery.
Yeah. I mean, I think I'm trying to think. In my head, I would like maybe a WarioWare game. I'm trying to think. I want a Nintendo Idol.
It's gonna be all mouse mode controls, WarioWare mouse mode.
Nintendo, it really is. But I want an Idol game, and I feel like if it's not Mario, it would have to be Rusty's Real Deal Baseball.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I'm with you. Let's move on. We've got just a few things still left in the show to go, but those are our top 10 games. Let us know what you want in the comments, and we're going to dive into the fast forward. We're talking about all the games that you should care about coming out this week, hosted by Chris. So we'll catch you guys here in a moment. Chris, take it away, my good sir. What games are coming out?
Well, listen, I'll tell you. Why don't we just start with August 28th, which is Super Robot Wars Y. $59.99. Have you, not only that, but it has a demo, right?
Mm-hmm.
Everyone loves a good Super Robot Wars. Are you a fan of Robot Wars?
No, I'm not a fan. Normally, I'm not a fan of mechs in general. I like them in Power Rangers.
You don't like?
Yeah, I like them in Power Rangers. I like Neon Genesis Evangelion, and Xenoblade Chronicles X. That's about it. But that's as far as mechs go for me. I'm not a big Gundam guy. Not a big Super Robot Wars dude. It's just never been my jam.
So not this is what you're saying. Definitely not this.
I'm not saying this is going to be a bad game.
Robobobot?
Oh, that doesn't count as a. I mean, that's more of a forklift simulator more than anything.
Yeah, that's true. But I mean, you know what? Super Robot Wars. If you're not sure if it's a U game, go play the demo. It's on the Nintendo Switch 1. Plays well on Switch 2. It says. I opened the wrong tab. Okay. Next up, we've got. On the 29th, we've got Shinobi Art of Vengeance. $29.99. It is on sale until the release date. You have all day long, basically, to get it. Because it comes out on the 20... Oh, wait, no. It comes out on the 29th. So once it comes out, no, you don't have it anymore. Of course, if you got the digital... Deluxe edition, I think it lets you play it. Doesn't let you play it early.
I don't know. It didn't have it listed as far as I know, but that doesn't mean it's not true what you're saying.
No, I think the early version was just for Steam. Okay, so yeah, but there is a digital deluxe version which is out for $35.99 on right now, normally $39.99, and you get the base game plus you get like there's like a Sega villain stage which is coming out in 2026. So there it is. You can get that. But yeah, this is Sega went ahead and they made a couple of games with the developer of this game. They made what was it? Streets of Rage 4. And before that, it was like the Monster Lizard Cube, I think it is, right? Lizard Cube games. They made but this one actually had people from Sega working with them to make sure it ended up being what it was today. Like they weren't happy with the way the game looked. The director of the game was from Sega, and he said he wanted the game to be a lot more stylized. So they ended up with what they have here now. But yeah, that's exciting. I got a code for it on Steam, and I'll be able to play it once it comes out. You know, sometimes you get codes early, sometimes you get codes and they don't work till the game comes out. Okay, so next up, this one, somebody named Cody wanted to fight me about it. I'm not going to mention any names, but
fight you is strong terminology.
You said let's go karate style. Karate Survivor is out on August 28th. 2025 for $5.99. This is a wonderful vampire survivor like, and I played a lot of this game. Plays well on the Steam Deck, and it's also got a Mac version, so I played it on there too. And yeah, it just Karate Survivor. It's basically you're like going through like an action movie. Like they got chairs, different props in the world that you can use to attack your enemies, and then you also, as you level up, are unlocking new attacks that when you pick the ones that are like the same color, because they got like blue, red, yellow, I think, and they might be another one, but as you pick them, they kind of like blend together and you do the combos, and so like they do more damage that way. Yeah, love it. Karate Survivor, coming out August 28th.
You know, I gotta
Check it
be
out.
honest. Like seeing the game in motion, it looks a lot better than it did in the still images. Because I was like, this game looks like trash in the still images that they had on here. But like seeing the actual trailer for it, the motion, the way the pixel art actually looks, it looks good. You ever see a game that like you see the stills for it and you're like, this looks like trash, and then you see it in motion and it looks good?
Yeah. Yep. There are a couple games like I don't like the way they look in screenshots,
Mhm.
and then but they look really good. And then there's also games where I'm like, that does not look good in motion, but the
Yep.
other way around.
Yep.
Where it looks really cool, but then when you see it in motion, you're like, ooh, that's not how I want it to look. But yeah, this is a game that definitely looks better if you look at it than. But if you're a Vampire Survivors fan, definitely check this out.
Absolutely.
Okay, so then we've got some Switch 2 games, baby. Story of Seasons Grand Bazaar, right? Coming out August 27th for $59.99. This is a game, Story of Seasons, tales of as old as time. Run a farm, okay? Just run a farm. There's a Switch version coming out the same day, and you can upgrade for the Switch too. $59.99, $49.99 for the Switch version. Shout out to it. August 27th. That's tomorrow, for crying out loud. $59.99. And then Nintendo out here being like, you know what? Let's just get some more Switch 2 editions out there. And they're giving us Kirby and the Forgotten Land Nintendo Switch 2 edition plus Star-Crossed World. August 28th, $79.99 or $19.99 upgrade pack. Very exciting. Looking forward to see how this is. What is it? Did they say 2 new full
Mouthful modes. I think there are
Yeah.
2 new mouthful modes, one of those being the spring mode and one of them being sign mode. Sign mode allows you to glide, spring mode allows you to jump super high. I thought spring mode was already in the game when I saw this, when I saw them teasing all the images for it in the key art, and I was kind of blown away by the fact that it existed in here. I'm very genuinely excited for this. This is definitely going to be my Thursday pickup as far as that goes. I'm going to try to dive through this and take on the rest of Star-Crossed World because I've played through this game 100% and it got all the gacha stuff. This game was phenomenal. It was awesome. It was amazing when it launched, and I have high hopes that the Star-Crossed World DLC just builds on the base. I don't have high hopes that it's going to be a very long experience. As we've seen with a lot of these Nintendo Switch 2 editions of games, it's not really always all that in depth. I'm looking at you, Super Mario Party Jamboree plus Jamboree TV.
Hear that?
But you know, that being said, like I am still very excited to try this out, and I'm keeping my fingers crossed that this blows me away as much as the base game did.
Yeah. Yep. And we'll be talking about more next week.
That's going to be Tuesday's show, so swing by if you want to know our opinions on Star-Crossed Worlds DLC and how we feel about it, and whether it's worth if you have the original release of it, if it's worth your 20 hard simoleons. In the words of Susie out there, spending those 20 buckaroos on there. We'll let you know. We'll let you know on Tuesday. But excited for it. And I think that's it, isn't it? That's all that's coming out.
That's all she wrote, you know?
It's all that's coming out that you should care about. Let me just put it that way. I'm probably going to get Grand Bazaar because I'm a sucker for Story of Seasons, but my enthusiasm level is not as high as I'd like for 60 simoleons. She says, oh no. Oh no. You have to let us know what you think about it, Susie. Let us know what you think about it.
Also, make sure you get the Switch version and upgrade to 59 so you get both the Switch and Switch 1 version.
If you want to.
Okay, Susie?
If you want to.
Do it, Susie. Do it.
If you want to. We're going to go to the game show portion of tonight's episode in a little segment that we call Pixmin, or Pixel Minute for long. Just flip that. Pixel Minute for long, Pixmin for short. I can't get my words out. In this segment, Chris has exactly 1 minute to guess the title of a game based on an image that is highly pixelated and will reveal itself over the course of 60 seconds. Feel free to play along at home. If you guess it faster than Chris, he loses. But tonight, it's not an image. It's not an image. We've got more actual gameplay coming at your face, Chris. Are you ready, my good sir?
Yeah, I'm ready for you to share your screen.
Getting there. Getting there. I'm turning it on. You're going to see it. Here it is. Here's my whole face.
I'm just making sure.
Are you ready?
I didn't know. Nobody knew. Yeah.
All right. You're ready? All right. Here we go. We're going to start this in 3, 2, 1. Let's go.
Okay. I have no idea. What do you have me watching?
Nope, not that.
Purple. What it? F-Zero? 64?
Need the full title, please?
The what? F-Zero GX?
Yeah, ding, 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 ding. You got it with 34 points on the board. Calamity Nolan out there with F-Zero coming out the gates. This is indeed F-Zero GX, a 2003 racing game developed by Amusement Vision, a division of Sega, and published by Nintendo for GameCube. It ran on an enhanced version of the game engine used in Super Monkey Ball 2001. And Sega also released an arcade version called F-Zero AX, which used the Triforce Arcade System board. F-Zero GX retained basic gameplay from previous F-Zero games. The Nintendo 64 game F-Zero X, released in 1998, but it also maintained the series' difficult high-speed racing with an emphasis on track memorization and reflexes, and introduced a story mode in which the player completed missions as the F-Zero pilot Captain Falcon through 9 chapters. Released August 25th, 2003 for North American audiences. That's a couple weeks in a row that we've gotten an F-Zero game on the board. They must apparently really like August for their releases of of F-Zero games, Chris.
Yeah, right.
Good job guessing that. I know it was really gray in the beginning, and then they showed off the main F-Zero car, the Blue Falcon or whatever it's called, that he drives, and I was like, oh, he's gonna get this immediately as soon as it showed that, and boy, howdy did you. You did it, Chris. Congratulations with those 34 points on the board.
Thank you.
We're going to go to the final segment of the show, and this is your extra Nintendo news. All the news highlights that we did not talk about during the episode, but there is a new sweepstakes tied to My Nintendo Kirby's Starry Sweepstakes, where you can win a good smell Nindroid Kirby that comes with a whole lot of like extra things, like inhale mode, a full-on inflated mode of Kirby, as well as a star rod and a couple of costumes. You can also win a Power A enhanced wireless controller that has a blue and pink Kirby motif to it. And then finally, Little Buddy released a Kirby car plush, mouthful mode car plush, that's about 8 inches big, that you can get but if you win this sweepstakes. Max 5 entries, 10 platinum points per entry. There's also a Nintendo Classic Super Mario Bros. 2 desktop metal display piece for 1,000 platinum points in the rewards shop. In terms of NSO icons, this is the last day that you can claim the Drag X Drive icons. We're on the final wave. They're not doing any more waves. They go away tomorrow.
No,
so
not tomorrow.
if you haven't gotten them, You need to get them now. They haven't announced what the next Icon set is going to be. I expect it to be Kirby and the Forgotten Land plus Star-Crossed World, considering that comes out on Thursday, but we'll have to wait and see. Maybe they'll announce it tomorrow. But there are also Play and Redeem icons available for Wario Land 3 and 4. You do have to have the Nintendo Switch Online Plus expansion pack to be able to claim them, because you have to be able to play the games in order to claim them. Those are available until September 1st. Nintendo Music got Kirby and the Forgotten Land soundtrack, featuring 62 tracks from that amazing game. And then in terms of sales and deals, there is a new bestseller sale that ends in about 8 days that features titles like Celeste, Power Rangers, Rita's Rewind, and Overcooked, all you can eat at a deep discount. Go check out that sale. Let us know what you might have picked up. In demos, Daemon X Machina, just a reminder, Titanic Scion has a demo available. That save carries over. You get to try that out. But also, there is an open network test for Switch of Sonic Racing Cross Worlds that will be happening on Friday. There's a free software for Switch 1 that you can download and be able to try out that game. The Switch 2 edition of that game doesn't come out till basically next year. So you will have to wait for that. But if you want to try your hands out on it, you can download the Switch 1 global test fire, the open network test, and be able to try that out. Tetris 99 is putting on its 49th Maximus Cup, where you can earn past Kirby themes. They're like 20 points per theme that you can snag. The Maximus Cup starts August 29th and ends on September 1st. And then there is also the continued Pokemon Terra Raid series to catch the released Shiny Ting Lu until August 31st. And then the final news highlights here. Pokemon finally showed what all the hubbub was with that creepy teaser, and it revealed a Mega Victory Bell. The animated short was really cool and spooky, but we know that that game is going to be nothing like that when Pokemon Legends ZA hits shelves. Some media have demoed the Final Fantasy VII Remake, Intergrade, and Elden Ring games. Those are personally my two most looked forward to ports that are coming to the Nintendo Switch 2. And unfortunately, it's a mixed bag. Final Fantasy performed amazingly. Digital Foundry said it's the best looking game on Switch 2, but Elden Ring unfortunately performed like doo-doo poopy butts. So I don't know that I'll be picking that game up a third or fourth time. I don't know how many times I've bought it at this point. Silksong announced the release date, and boy howdy is it close. September 4th, Silksong comes out, the long-awaited sequel to Hollow Knight. Get that on your wish lists. Be ready to play it. If you have Game Pass, you'll be able to play it day one on Game Pass, but you can buy it. No price point's been announced just yet. They're still holding that close to their chest. There is a pretty significant rumor about a Nintendo Direct incoming for September 12th, coming from Switch Force. This is the day before Mario's 40th anniversary, and it's important to keep track of, as Nintendo is known for their September Directs. This one being on Friday is a little unusual, but it's not totally out of left field, as one of the more recent ones in memory that they did on a Friday was Animal Crossing New Horizons. So it could be a big one. Fingers crossed. And then the Crocs by Animal Crossing collection launched today, where you can go and snag yourself some shoe wear, some footwear, some shoes that feature some Animal Crossing motif around it. And then finally, Nintendo's My Mario line of stuff launched in Japan today. There are 3 stop motion animated shorts that you can watch at home on YouTube. They're all about a minute long. They're absolutely adorable. And the new Hello Mario app is available on Switch 1 for free via the Nintendo eShop in Japan. So if you have a Japanese eShop account, you can download the Hello Mario app and be able to play around with it. But you do need to search for an adult to be able to play it. So that being said, Chris, where can they find you, my good sir?
You can find me, my Linktree. Just look for my Linktree, Super Nintendo Linktree, find it there, and get you on the other side.
Absolutely. Or you can go to gamestodiscover.com, website that's currently under I almost said construction, to be able to check out everything that is Chris. You can find me over at nerdwireplays.com. All my social media garbage is linked over there. And then remember, we are live every Tuesday night, 9:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, talking about Nintendo news, all the stuff that you should care about. You can catch us over at youtube.com/@the Nintendo Rewind for all of our previous episodes. And check out NintendoRewind.com. Consider supporting the show. We love your faces. Remember, be kind and rewind. And we will catch you on the flip side. Peace.
Good luck.